Hello, I'm Sky Weinberg. Well, nonviolence is a way positive change in society because it costs less and it um, helps less harmful and you get involved more. First off, the important fact is selling on the violence of African Americans, so they protested by marching the capital of Montgomery for across 54 miles. This protest helped by public opinions on the media to end violence. Another successful nonviolent action was when in Kansas City there was a police officer where he went to meet his family at Olive Garden on his lunch break. And he was still on duty and he went in to get seats and the staff member told him that he had to leave. And he was embarrassed. He put it on Facebook how uh, telling other officers that they didn't want to serve him. So he ended up leaving because he had a gun and that was their policy. Later on, it ended up where the staff member made a mistake and she ended up getting fired. So Olive Garden ended up apologizing. Another big example of nonviolence was a grad student, John Butler from Missouri, went on a hunger strike. So he starved himself. He went on a hunger strike because President Tim Wolf decided to be racist during the homecoming parade. So he then student group 1950 was the first American to block the president's car so that he can talk to the president, but the president didn't want to talk to him at all. So then 30 members of the football team ended up not practicing at all, not wanting to play. So this would have cost millions of dollars if they didn't play the football game that night. So Tim Wolf ended up resigning November 9th. Now, as they cost less, it only takes 3.5% to change. So for a sit-in of civil rights movement of the Woolworth was an example of cost less lives and money because there was 4 black in North Carolina college students walked in the Woolworth for lunch, but only 4 white people were allowed there. So Franklin McCain sat in the stool for the whole day and he just sat there and he was going to wait for service. And all of a sudden he felt liberty. An elderly woman came up to him and said she was proud of him for protesting. They stayed till closing the next day. 15 more students sit in Woolworth. Then 300 came the third day. Later on that day, 1,000. This became the change of history, which is good because the elderly woman thought maybe years ago they could have done this too. Lastly, you can be a big part of the organization, like the Pace event, which was a campaign for nonviolence in the pledge, and can also donate to homeless shelters and more, like churches. This helped in groups to gather peace for ending poverty. Nonviolence is always the best way for society. brings out peace, it prevents fights, especially lives. Thank you.